Hey guys, it's Crystal Lee Moore Lucier here, also known as your Home Sweet Home 519 Realtor, Crystal Lee Moore. This is Realtor Life, and this is our 30-day challenge, day 22 already. So, really exciting podcast that was important that we listened to today. But before we go there, as always, we're going to read from the Pivot Year, Brianna Wiest, 365 Days to Becoming the Person You Truly Want to Be. Big recommend. Go pick up a copy because we're only doing 30 days, but there are 365 in this book. Okay, day 20. Other people will see you the way they intend to. In the same way, you have put the people you admire on pedestals and glossed over all the unseemly aspects of another human being you were hell-bent on trying to love. In the same way that the souls closest to you seem the most beautiful and most easily forgivable. In the same way that you most understand the perspective of the people whose journeys you have witnessed from the beginning, whose shoes you can imagine yourself in. Other people see you the way they need to and intend to, but what matters in the end is the way that you see yourself. And I think that works the other way too. I think sometimes if Tony Robbins talks about this, if you kind of hear something about someone that might not be a good thing, and then something happens, you don't always give people the benefit of the doubt. And we really should. We definitely should. So I chose today's podcast because I thought it would be very relevant. And I will say there's also a playlist that's publicly on my Spotify, which is all of these wonderful playlists, or all of the podcasts we're listening to are in a playlist. But what we're listening to today is Season 2, Episode 17, and this is way back in March 2022, Myths About Anxiety and the Life-Changing Truth. This is an interview with Dr. John Deloney. Now, this was a different kind of anxiety, so this was kind of post-pandemic anxiety that they talk about. But I actually feel very much that it's kind of what we're experiencing right now to a point, and it is a very heavy time. And I talked about that in this week's Realtor Life regular episode, but it is important that we are managing our self-care because unfortunately we live in a very tumultuous time. We have been in a mental health crisis for the last 5 years or longer, but definitely the last 5 years. And it's important that you make sure that you and the people around you are okay. So one of the things that Brian mentioned is that if something's going on, you need the strength, you need to dig in and say, I'm not okay. If you think that you don't deserve to be upset because the things that are happening aren't actually happening to you, and you think they're not maybe affecting you, they probably might be affecting you. And if they're not affecting you, they might be affecting people around you. So it's a really important topic. And I think as we're getting through, I will say, I'm struggling this week. Like, it's really heavy. And so it's just putting one foot in front of the other, checking things off the list, trying to get through. I'm also doing, as I mentioned, the Richard Robbins Millionaire Mindset, and bless Richard Robbins and his entire staff because I think they knew people needed something. And it is a great time for this kind of recharge. They're not long. I think that you can have access to them whenever, but it's a really cool thing. And then they also have coaching opportunities if you're interested. So all that to say, day 22, guys, home stretch. We have a little over a week left and we can do this. So as I mentioned, as long as you're doing something, I've been doing indoor walks because I'm still fighting a cold, but do the walk, move your body, do the activities, make sure you're journaling, listen to the podcast. We've got this, and I will see you tomorrow. Thanks for listening.